Good afternoon, everyone. So, you need to stop living in society's expectations. Okay. So, a lot of us, we are conditioned, our mind is conditioned to think a certain way, to perceive things a certain way subconsciously. So, you might not be 100% aware of the conditioning of your mind that has been done from society's expectations. And I'll give an example from society's expectations, right? Maybe one is by age 21, you have to make six figures, right? That might not be like a whole, you might not have heard that one, right? But when you look at TikTok, and you look at who's famous, the celebrities, the young people, right? A lot of them are making a lot of money at a young age, right? And you see all these influencers and people with all this success, like material success, right? And so it for regular normal people and like women that watch this stuff and young boys and men who watch it, it makes them think this is normal. But it's actually like the 0.011% of people are having that much success. And I'm not saying this to not have aspirations to become very wealthy and rich, but I am saying don't let that conditioning, the mind conditioning from the world, tell you what your expectation has to be for yourself. And the reason why is because if you keep doing that, if you keep having these expectations from the world and you are adopting them, right? Like you subconsciously adopt these expectations, like I need to make six figures by 21. That was something, that was a societal expectation I had in my mind. I was conditioned in my mind when I worked at AT&T. All the people were like, "Oh, make six figures. That's what you need to make." And then I saw like back then, a lot of people were doing Shopify and e-commerce, and all these kids were making like $100,000 a month. And I was like, I need to make 100,000 by age 21. And what's funny is I actually, the true story, I actually was able to accomplish that, or basically make about six figures when I was 21. But the problem was I felt really empty inside, and I felt like I was scammed because I don't even think I'm saying I don't know if I actually wanted that. I'm not saying it was wrong for me having that money. I'm saying did I actually genuinely just want that, or was it because I was influenced by society's expectations to do that? I was influenced by society expectations to make that certain amount of money. I could have made more money, right? Right? But that was my goal, right? And so now looking forward, you have society's expectations and then you have your own expectations of who you are as a person, right? And what you want to do is you want to separate society's expectations from you, right? And separate the two. So it's almost like society's expectations is like the ego. And when you go here, it's just you and you're selfless, like you're egoless, right? And so you're going to be so much more happier, I would say, and more fulfilled in life when you stop letting those society expectations be the reason for you to get happy. Like if I don't have this type of jawline, if I don't have that kind of car, if I don't have this type of house, these are all society's expectations, right? Like, and it's kind of weird to think about it like that, but that's actually how it is. And so a lot of that shame and guilt you have when you're younger, it's not yours to bear. You shouldn't have all that shame and guilt when you're younger because you didn't become a world famous YouTube influencer, or you're just making average income, right? A month or like a year, right? So it's like when you have your own expectations of the life that you want, they're gonna be like within your standards of what you want in your life and not the world standards. So yeah, I probably made it more wordy than it had to be, but society's expectations are like a huge issue for a lot of, I would say, men, modern men, right? Because modern men are having a lot of self-worth like issues and dilemmas, right? That's why there's been such a huge demand of alpha male influencers, the red pill space. All these people are programmed by society conditioning and society's expectations. Even the whole red pill and all these stuff, they're all programmed by society's expectations. And so when you separate it, you don't have to be any of those expectations. Like for instance, like movies, right? You watch The Rock, you watch Terminator, right? You see Arnold, he's so strong and buff, and then that, and in your mind you think that's what masculinity is, right? But that's not masculinity. That's just a caricature of what people think masculinity is. They think masculinity is having a lot of muscles, right? And that's not the case. Masculinity is just being you. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. But that's where I'm talking about. It's just like you have to separate or you're going to get lost with the world. And the world is, it's like you're never going to be content or satisfied because you're always going to be like chasing a carrot, trying to live up to the world's expectations, let alone also other people's expectations, right? It might not just be the world. It could be your family, this and that, right? And, it alleviates you a lot of pressure when you realize you don't have to meet, you don't have to exceed, you don't have to be any of those expectations. You can be you. And I just want to encourage everyone to focus on separating from the world's expectations and just create your own expectations for your life and be yourself. And stop trying to copy everybody else. Be your own unique self. Peace.